Hello, that's 51st Parallel. I'm Samuel. The winter is almost over. Well, probably that's a little bit too early to say that, but I know someone who definitely wants that to be true. I'm pretty sure that today's guest is craving for the baseball season to start sooner, so take your bat, shine your shoes, find a baseball, and listen to this podcast. Okay, hello Bartek.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Just got off. Hopefully the last exam. Hopefully I passed. If not, that sucks.
That does.
I wanted to first off just dispute your intro immediately. I actually like winter. It's one of my favorite seasons. Definitely top 4. And yeah, it's fine. Summer's good because baseball's there, of course, but winter is fine because you can actually, in my opinion, counteract cold a little bit better than counteract hot, because you can always just dress appropriately by adding one more layer. But when it's hot, then it's hot. And past a certain point, it's either public indecency or
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm very sorry that, I promise you a live audience here, but probably, I'll put some sound over our recording.
Yeah. Every time I tell half a joke, just put a laugh track.
Yeah, sure. And we said, wow, that's a good joke. And someone laughed. Like this one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you know what? By the way, I wanted to start, with some regular stuff like what is your field of studies, but I feel that probably today we can get a little bit off our plan. So how about we... Yeah, sure.
Like I was supposed to just tell you that, I just do computers and that.
Yeah.
Nothing special. Probably
okay. Hold on. You'll tell it later.
Okay.
Just don't reveal it now. Okay. So let's get straight to the point. You're a huge baseball fan, and let's just talk about this a little bit. So how did you get to baseball?
This sort of follows on of my being a sports fan in general. So one winter I just thought, I'll start following American football for some reason. I picked the team. The season was cool. It lasts like 17 weeks and then some playoffs, but my team was bad enough to not make the playoffs, so it ended kind of early. And then it was February. The Super Bowl is being played like the next weekend as we record this. You probably know who won by the time you're listening. But the season was over, and all of a sudden I had nothing to do because I put all my eggs in the American football basket, and then I had to wait like from March to September, starving for anything.
Yeah, sure.
And I thought, it's March. Baseball starting. I've heard it's pretty boring, but it has like cool trading cards, so I guess I'll give it a shot. And 3 years later, I'm now here.
That's quite funny, but still, that's your story. Let's talk a little bit about something else. You are one of, I don't know how to put that, one of the pillars of a magnificent organization called Baseball Association here in Poland, right?
Yes, the Polish Baseball and Softball Association. Just for clarity, this segment could be 30 minutes long, just public grievances, but it won't be. I am a part of the board of the Polish Baseball and Softball Association, and the fact that I'm here after just 3 years of experience sort of speaks to how underdeveloped the scene is here in Poland. So how few people sort of care about the sports, in my opinion at least. But we're trying to push that in a positive direction, and that's what matters.
Okay, so in your opinion, the major problem is that not that many people care about baseball in general, right?
Yes, in my opinion, that's a huge part of the issue, because there's just not enough people who do the tasks that should usually be done by a team, they are usually just allocated to one person. So, for example, right now I'm one of the 3 people in Poland who do broadcasts for baseball matches, and I have to do it. Yeah, of course I have my helper. Shout out to you, Marcin Zysek, if you're listening. But I bring all the cameras along. I set them up. I log into my YouTube. I press stream and do all of that. Where usually it would probably be done by like 2 or 3 people. And the fact is, we just don't have enough people interested, because probably some of those roles would be filled by injured players or people who just didn't cut it at a certain level
I see.
and still love baseball. But since the sport is not developed enough, like for example, we're all just amateurs, and I feel comfortable saying that it's all right. We don't have the infrastructure to really grow the game more, and it's sort of this catch-22. Yeah,
Okay.
but we're working on that, and the more people, the merrier. So hopefully this podcast inspires someone to devote their whole life to the sport, right?
Yeah, right, sure. I mean, how can it be not this way?
Yeah, it's great.
No, but I mean that's great. I hope that this podcast can help it, and if it can, I mean, I'll be just happy. So do you have any, I don't know, plans how to improve that? Can you how to interest people in that sport? That's my question.
How to interest? Well,
Because I'm sorry, I just want to make a quick remark. Like, I'm not sure that, I don't know, loving baseball is something that is given you from the, the moment of your birth or something like that. Of course not. Of course, people can be, interested in some sports and, I don't know, acquire some knowledge in a different area or field. So and as far as I understand, like here in Poland, as in many other countries, football, like, okay, soccer is the most popular sports, and everyone sort of loves it, likes it. But yeah, baseball is not that common here. Yeah, I guess. So what strategies do you have? What are some plans, tactics?
So just to put that to one side, and I need to address the soccer elephant in the room to all the people who are tilted about someone calling the sport where you kick a ball soccer. It's literally in the name. Like it's association football. So as Asian football. That's where it comes from. It's all right, guys. It can be called soccer. But coming back to the baseball point, I guess just making more people aware of the sport, because you don't need to have like awareness programs for soccer, because everyone knows already about soccer.
Sure.
But having more people aware about the game and about the fact that it's a possibility, not if you live in a remote city, unfortunately, from the few cities that have baseball hotspots or softball hotspots, because Wrocław is certainly one of them. And growing the game, first of all, we need to make people aware of it, and then actually tell them that it's all right. The sport is interesting. My biggest selling point, because it's kind of hard to be completely honest. It's a very specific atmosphere when you come to a baseball game. Not only here in Poland, where probably there isn't going to be very many people in the stands. Stands, it's a generous term, but definitely in the USA, it's a more of a picnic atmosphere. You just go there to hang out with your mates. Nothing really fast-paced is going on the field at any given time. Of course, if you're very into baseball, you will be interested by any given play that's happening at a given time. But it's mainly just a sport that's perfect for hangouts and just groups to mingle with each other. That's the standing point. And if you're trying to watch on TV, That's how I sold my mother, my mom, on baseball. It's a perfect knitting sport. So basically, you see a guy throw a ball, you knit like, I don't know, 10, whatever these are called.
10, I don't know, layers or okay. Let's pretend we're we know what
you
we're
do 10
talking
loops,
about.
10 loops,
Yeah,
and
10 loops.
and then you can look up and see what happens next. And if you're really interested in your loops, then you just do your loops and look up when the commentator's screaming, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, of course. Yeah, that's actually true. I remember you sent me this video the other day where like the commentator is just telling some stories while the game is on. I mean, he's not, as you put it, it's not a fast pace. He's just telling a story, and if something happens, he comments it, and then again back to his story. That's really nice. And also, because especially comparing to some, soccer fans, they're just, sometimes it seems like they're, again, not to offend anyone, but some soccer fans are really crazy, let's say.
You're gonna get beaten up.
Yeah, sure. As soon as we finish this podcast. Can you hear that? I hear some soccer fans screaming outside. Probably they're after us.
No, here's a flare.
Yep, exactly. Okay. So, by the way, you mentioned something like it's baseball and softball association. What's the difference between baseball and softball?
So, unfortunately, still baseball is predominantly.
Predominantly.
Yes, that word. Sorry, I had
No
an
problem.
exam.
You can say it all over again. I mean,
so
don't even bother.
Cut.
Doesn't matter. Whatever. Never mind.
So baseball is predominantly
Very good.
A men's sport, while softball is predominantly a women's sport. Yes, third time's the charm, right? And that's one of the biggest differences. But also softball is like a more interesting in sort of a what's going on the field. It's very much more fast paced. The distances between the bases are lower, so there's more action. There's more balls being put in play. So by that I mean people do not swing and miss. They actually make contact with the ball when they swing with their bats. And it's generally here in Poland more, in my opinion, lively. So actually that's what I looked up just before recording. Currently scheduled, there are two tournaments for softball in Wrocław, and they're in June and in September. And if you, I need to Google where exactly
if you want to, of
the
course.
field is
sure.
to plug it, of course. But just give me some time and
sure. I mean,
but I can speak while googling.
it's not a problem. I'll cut it. Don't worry. We can sit here for, I don't know, minutes. But okay, let's not waste time. And while Bartek is searching this on Google, I can tell something. How about I start a story about beards? Okay, I'm sorry that was a joke referring this video that Bartek sent me. So yeah, there's this commentator. By the way, I forgot his name.
Vince Scully.
Yeah, he's really good at what he's doing.
Do you know like the districts of Wrocław?
I mean,
it's near,
some of them. Yeah.
Okay, it's near Zakrzów. I found it.
Okay.
Okay, so there was probably a weird cut.
Don't worry. No, I mean it's not weird. Every recording is, I cut something, but I hope you don't notice it.
So back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by my own incompetence. The softball tournaments are in June and in September at a baseball field in Zakrzów. So here in Wrocław we have a nice big baseball field renovated. You can play. There are games scheduled at like 6 p.m. So under the lights, a nice summer evening. But also near that there's a smaller field, predominantly used like as a play field, but it's large enough to serve as a softball field.
now let's talk about your field of studies. So, I mean, okay, I'm sorry that we have this weird, I don't know, connection and just weird jump
It's
between
okay.
two topics, but
Maybe you can put this before the baseball part.
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah.
somehow make it work. I'm traveling.
No, I don't want this, this episode to be this sort of regular. I mean, I have you.
I'm
That's-
irregular, right?
No, you're not. Anyway, your field of study. So, what do? Can you repeat that?
So, I study. I believe I just finished my first semester, although I'm not quite sure. At here in PWR, so
Mhm.
University of Wrocław Science
Yeah,
and Technology,
Wrocław
something
University
like
of
that.
Science and Technology in English. Yeah.
And I study algorithmic IT.
Okay, so can
So
you tell something more?
It's basically IT and maths combined. This
Mhm.
past semester, I like my two exams were from statistics, which is something I really like. Baseball has many statistics. You can basically measure anything, and that's why also I think the sport is so cool. But also like the theory of building computers and the architecture of how everything is built.
That's really great. And the reason I asked you about your field of studies is because you managed to connect it to your to something you really like, to baseball and to other sports. And can you share what you did? I'm talking about, of course, this program. And like, is it a program or application?
Yeah, it's just a script. Like basically, once you know a little bit about programming, you can write basic, like even window applications. So
Yeah,
something
sure.
with user
but I
input.
mean, you went a little bit further.
Right.
Yeah.
So to explain, I'm someone who's like a technical person when it comes to a baseball match. The role is called a scorer. So basically, there are two umpires or referees on the field, and I'm basically the third umpire who just sits down and notes everything that happened in the game, because baseball is like that you can quantify everything. This is something which needs to be done to keep stats, of course, but also to ensure that the result is correct and no one lied about anything. But it's also something which is a hobby of mine, which is nice.
It is very.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
So basically, in 2021, what I did is I watched all of the games of my favorite team, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I've scored them all. So noted down every single play. And you might be thinking, you at home, the listener, that's not that impressive. You're just a fan. Well, the season is 162 games long. Each game lasts on average about 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So
That's not that hard to do.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
So I basically devoted my whole year. There are some other like personal circumstances which meant that I had more free time than usual, and this will never happen again. I will never do it again.
Unfortunately, or it's like
I'll try in 2023 for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
But that's because like every single time that I scored a game, 30 minutes before that were just spent by filling out the form on
Mhm.
which I wrote down all the statistics and writing down the players' names. I basically wrote a script which I just put in the game ID and it fills it out with my handwriting, which is, once you look at the code, it's not that impressive.
No, I know, but the funny part is that, I mean, what I meant was that you put your soul into it. I mean, you didn't have to do that. I mean, of course it makes your life easier, but you also, like, you were worried about some of the details, some of the tiny, like, pieces of it, and you also created your own font, like your own font of your handwriting, and which is just nice.
It's one evening of work. If you guys really wanted it, then it's out there.
The point is that it just really shows your, like, passion, I guess.
Thank you.
And also, what was I about to say? Just a moment. There was something at the same time, probably important, probably not. Oh yeah, okay, doesn't matter now. No, I just wanted to ask you, like, was it time well spent?
Yes.
This whole season.
The season of scoring.
Yes.
The season of scoring. It was time. At times, I very much enjoyed doing the scoring, but the season of my team didn't go as well as planned. We didn't win the championship. Yeah. Also, my favorite player got suspended. My then favorite player, it's important to note, got suspended for some bad stuff.
Okay.
At the same time as I was going through some stuff, and sort of this collapsed into the snowball of I don't want to do it anymore. It was like in June or July, but at the end I finished the project, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what I achieved in big quotes.
Sure. Let's talk about some other places where you can play baseball or perhaps softball. You mentioned that here in Poland there are a few places you can do that. There are a few spots, and also, yeah, probably that's worth mentioning that your hometown also has it, right? Has this baseball stadium.
Yes, we have the best field in the country, bar none.
Wow,
no. I'm joking. So the hotspot of baseball is in Kutno. That is because there was once a St. Louis Cardinals player called Stan Musiał.
Okay.
So for us Polish people, Stanisław Musiał. Just to translate, I know, impressive English. But he was from Kutno, and after retiring, he's a Hall of Famer. So I think he won an MVP award. So he was the most valuable player, and multiple time he was an All-Star. So basically a part of the team of the season. Sort of. But after retiring, he went to Kutno and he built this big complex of fields. So that's where one of the biggest and best teams in the country is located. We have teams in Rybnik and in Żory, which is in Silesia. That's where I come from. And I'm lucky enough to be able to drive to basically 3 of the 4 fields in baseball.
Yes, here in the country, yeah.
Yes. On which like the association sponsored league is taking place. There are teams in Warsaw also, and there's also a thing called the Baltic League of Baseball. It's not necessarily only in the Pomorze region, but teams from Białystok, Władysławowo, and basically that part of the country also are represented. So if you're from there, you can snoop around if you want to. The Baltic League is, I don't want to call it an amateur league because I would get in very big trouble for that, but it's definitely way more open for any person who wants to play than
which is not bad if you're just starting.
Yes. We as in the team from Silesia, the team from Rybnik, we have a team in the Extraliga League, so the league sponsored by the association, but we also have a second team which plays in the Baltic League. Now, of course, the differences between the teams aren't as big as I might have made it out to be. Hopefully not, but yeah, definitely I'm not calling our league way better or the other league way worse. But yeah.
No, I understand. Like
I just want to mention them since they are definitely big enough to mention when talking about popularizing the sport.
Yeah, sure. Wow, that's great. I mean, and so would you recommend everyone to go to, let's say, the heart of Silesia, to Rybnik, and see this game like there, or is it
definitely it's easier to come to a Barons game if you're listening to this, because yeah, it's
closer, right?
Yeah, it's closer, of course. Like here in Wrocław, it's in Zakrzów, so about 30 minutes by tram from the dorms.
Yeah.
That's how I sort of contextualize it. But yeah, that's where I would start. If you guys want to, if you all, sorry, want to go and see a baseball game, I would definitely start this summer. We start the first round of regular season games in April up until June.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's gonna be an interesting atmosphere.
That's really great. Yeah. As you told, this atmosphere of like where people just can hang out and just talk to their friends, not necessarily
there's no
rooting for a particular team or something.
Like actually, I don't know if we should dilute our conversation and go into that, but in Japan and in Korea, there's a very different fan culture. In Japan, like all the players who bat have their different songs. So basically, you go to a stadium. That's what I heard. I cannot confirm this like firsthand, but from what I've heard and what I've seen, like every single player on a given team has their own like chant song.
Wow!
And, like half the stadium is from fans of one team, the other half is from the fans of the other team, and they basically sing and cheer the player on. Yeah,
that's something different. Yeah, and also that's funny. But the other day you said that in Japan and especially in Japan, there are some really strong teams, right?
So in March there's going to be a World Cup of sorts, a World Baseball Classic. That's what the tournament is called, and it's cool because it's the only sort of national team tournament which has MLB players. So the teams from the best American team league in the world, and basically the powerhouses are not who you would expect. So it's not America is bang on just 100% going to win. The odds-on favorite I checked is Dominican Republic.
Wow, yeah, something unexpected. Really,
the team from Cuba is very strong, of course. The USA team is very strong, but baseball is also the national sport, as far as I'm aware. Maybe along with soccer, of Japan and South Korea. So there's also a very big and sort of different fan culture there. But if you're maybe into anime or something, I don't know, I'm not. Check it out, yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Cuba, at least somewhere they beat Americans, right?
I didn't get that reference.
Okay, I see. I'll put some laugh over it.
Just laugh.
Okay, anyway, that was Bartek, and thank you for coming. I mean, no.
Goodbye.
No, do you want to talk about something else?
No, sorry for ruining your outro.
That's okay. You see, let me tell you why that happens. You didn't appreciate my joke. That's what happens.
Yes. Just
no, I'm kidding. If you want to say something else, we can talk about it.
Yes, I would like to say one more thing. Shout out to my parents. I love them.
Wow, that's good. Good from your side. I mean, I'm sorry I said that. Wow. That was just unexpected. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. Pozdrawiam mamę. I tatę.
Real nice. Okay, again, that was Bartek, and thank you for coming to this podcast. And it's been a pleasure to talk to you, as usual. I mean, not only here on the podcast, but also in live. And thank you very much. And I can't wait to go to a baseball game with you. So I also anticipate this baseball season to start. Thanks for listening, and bye, everyone.
Bye.
This episode was recorded at Radio Luz, LUZ, on campus of Wrocław University of Science and Technology. You can find more episodes on our YouTube channel as well as on various other platforms connected to Radio Luz. If you want to leave us a message or just say something nice, you can write to us to 51st.parallel.podcast@gmail.com, which is 51st.parallel.podcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening and see you next time.